further problems down the road, including anything with their school or memory or continuous headaches.
For concussion treatment, get started at ElevatePerformanceSD.com.
Out here, we have a deeper connection to the land, a stronger connection to our neighbors, standing on our own 2 feet while also working together. The power to do more connects us all. At member-owned West River Electric Association, it's all of us working together to make today and tomorrow better. This is Co-op Country.
It's football season, and the best place to watch all your favorite games is the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort. Wall-to-wall television arrays give you the best seats in the house and let you watch multiple games at once. Relax in comfortable seating while you grab a delicious bite or brew with a game day menu full of fan favorites. Take advantage of some of the best promotions in Deadwood when you make your wagers with your Clubhouse card. You won't miss a second of the action when you make the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy your headquarters this football season.
City driving might feel routine, but it's tough on your car. All those quick starts, hard stops, endless red lights, and long idle times. They wear things down fast. Brakes, fluids, engine components, they all take a beating. That's where Al's D&I Repair in Rapid City comes in. We handle the maintenance that keeps your vehicle ready for whatever the city throws at it. Al's D&I, fixing it right since 77. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. You need to know.
Brian Daboll was fired today as the head coach of the New York Giants after a 2-8 start to this season. He was in his 4th year in New York, went 20-40-1 with just one playoff appearance. Mike Kafka, the team's offensive coordinator, will take over on an interim basis as the team's head coach. General manager Joe Shane staying on. His ownership says he will lead the search for the new head coach. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow practiced today as the 21-day window was open for him to return from injured reserve. Suffered a toe injury in Week 2. He will not play in Week 11 against the Steelers. Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson's going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a sprained knee. Raiders offensive lineman Jackson Powers-Johnson placed on injured reserve. And Commanders defensive lineman Daron Payne was suspended 1 game by the NFL for punching Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is appealing that ban. Lakers guard Austin Reeves probable tonight to face the Hornets in Charlotte. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a Monday, a Reaction Monday across South Dakota on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. The Nate Brown Show back and ready. How are you? Hope you had a nice weekend, everybody. Let's get ready to go. The Nate Brown Show ready. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Let's bring it tonight. Reaction Monday for your drive home. A lot of great guests. It is a reaction with Rob Kagron, our national radio host that we bring in every Monday now, reacting to the weekend. Rob Kagron coming in next hour. Until then, a great guest lineup. Let's get popping. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Appreciate our affiliates, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Also on Twitter, follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. We are on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live in studio. YouTube channel is up. The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. You've got us on YouTube anytime. And one more place, Midwest Sports Plus, the new high school sports app that's provided great coverage across the state. Midwest Sports Plus. Get the app in your app store. You've got this show live every afternoon on Midwest Sports Plus. The Nate Brown Show. Packed tonight. Here we go. Matt Zimmer's coming on today. It was SDSU USD. How about that? The Jacks go down for a 3rd straight time. The Yotes get it done. Matt Zimmer was there. SiouxFallsLive.com. He's coming up with a reaction. What is the real story with the Yotes and the Jacks? What's the real story? We'll see if we can get it from Matt Zimmer on tonight. Every Monday we've had Jason Andera. He's in again. It's Jandy tonight. State football title games this week. Vermillion, the Dome's going to be popping Jason Andera with the preview of the state title games. Who does he like going in this weekend? Andera, SDPB Sports, coming on tonight. Over to the Twin Cities, Michael Rand covering the Vikings. They fall to the Ravens yesterday, as you know. Michael Rand, Vikings writer, StarTribune.com, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He is in. So pack this first hour. Reaction Monday, second hour with guest host Rob Kagron. He's on tap. If you want in tonight, we'll try and get you for sure. 605-720-1067. Lock that number in. 605-720-1067. How you join the conversation on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. Great locations in Brandon on East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, Pizza Ranch East, and 2 locations in Rapid City, home of everyone's favorite buffet, by far, the Pizza Ranch. So we got you on the studio hotline there. Barron's Wilson text line open as well. If you can't call, you can do the next best thing. Text the show, 605-720-1067, the Barron's Wilson listener text line. Okay. I want to start the show with a couple of things here. I got a big high school sports story that I want to get your read on because it's big. It's really interesting to me. So I'm going to get to that. But let me start with the reaction from the weekend from various fan bases. So here's what I like in sports fans. You tell me what you like. I like passionate sports fans. I wouldn't be doing a show if I didn't have some passion, right? I want passion. I want people to care. The one thing I don't like in sports is when somebody sits back and goes, well, it's fine. I mean, it's not that big a deal. What's the big deal? There's bigger things in life. I understand. I get that line from just a few different folks in my life, just a few different. These are the non-sports people, I think. You got to have some competitiveness. You got to have some fire. I don't like the fans that, well, there's bigger things in life. I'm more worried about this and that. I understand there's bigger things in life. We talk sports for an outlet, entertainment, passion. If you're a sports fan, you got to have some passion. So why am I telling you this? Okay. I like sports fans that have passion, not the folks that just let things go and everything's fine and it's all going to work out great. And don't worry, you got bigger things to focus on in life. Yes, I understand. I don't need a moral story, right? I don't need a lesson in life every time my team loses. I can just have some passion, right? I want you to have passion. However, the guys I don't like are the guys that are loons, the guys that are totally out of control, the guys that go from being passionate fan, I'm a fan, to then just thinking your team has just ended. It's over. The season's gone. You'll never recover again. It's these guys that are all in when things are going good. You know these guys. And by the way, I was in Las Vegas this weekend. So I watched a ton of games. Like, we had it up on the sports book all weekend long, Saturday, Sunday. Got back late last night, and so I'm watching games. That's a perfect picture of some of the fans that are great. There's passion, there's excitement, and then you see the loon. Then you see the doofus. Maybe it's after a couple of cocktails, but maybe not. And this guy, if something goes wrong, and he's screaming, he's yelling, he's pointing out what the QB did. The coach should have done this, so he should have done that. We're never going to be able to read this, that, this. Why am I painting these pictures today? I saw this happen from South Dakota sports fans this weekend. So I'm just watching the games, and I'm watching, number one, SDSU USD. By the way, was SDSU USD on one of the TVs at my sports book? What's your guess? Everybody guess tonight. Was SDSU USD on one of the TVs at my sports book in Las Vegas this weekend? Do you think the Jacks and the Yotes made a Las Vegas sports book TV? They did. I didn't even have to request it. I'm sitting here looking. I was like, wait a minute. They put the Jacks and Yotes on, a little ESPNU action. Okay, we found it. So I'm watching Jacks Yotes, and I see where the Jacks score right away. Everything seems okay. South Dakota State, they're back. They're this. USD grinds them down, runs the football, makes some big plays, just grinds it out. USD wins the game. Yote fans excited, celebrate. And here's what I see on the SDSU side. There's a fine line from Jacks fans that I see that are disappointed. They're disappointed, man. We just got to fix this. We just got to, we're one, maybe get our QB back, get a little better on defense. There's that line, and then there's reaction. And this is me, guys. I'm objective. I'm not all in on the Jacks, all in on the Yotes. I'm not all in on either. So I'm just looking at it from my perspective. Some of the Jacks fans just went off the rails, right? So what's that fine line? SDSU is not going to be in the worst shape ever. People are pointing out, man, they've lost 3 in a row. This season's gone. This program could be gone. And I'm sitting here going, can we just pull back just a little bit? I mean, we got to pull back just a little bit. I understand the rivalry and the passion. You can't lose to USD. Jacks fans just can't take it. Here's what's happened. South Dakota State fans have gotten really, really used to just winning easily. Just winning easily. And we've forgotten what has happened. Jimmy Rogers left to Washington State. A bunch of the top-tier players left with him. And the Jacks just aren't as good as they were. I mean, that's just, there's no other way to point it out. You don't have to look at this and look, I wonder if Dan Jackson this, or I wonder if that. There's just not as good a players as there were. So you can't just get totally over the other edge and say now that with the 3 straight losses, the Jacks aren't going to recover and we got to figure things out. This is embarrassing. This is just a little blip here. I do believe if the Jacks stay in the FCS, which they will for the foreseeable future, South Dakota State's going to be just fine. Dan Jackson had to come in and fill the gap. And people say, oh, excuses, it's that. You just couldn't quite recover the entire piece that you missed to Washington State. You just couldn't quite cover that. And so let's not think South Dakota State has fallen off the rails. It's now evident they're not as good as they used to be. It's just one of those things. And then you throw out Chase Mason. That's a huge factor. And the defense just isn't able to get as many stops as we're used to. And, I mean, the list goes on. You point out, it's not over at all for South Dakota State. It's not like they've gone back to ground zero here, just starting over. They're going to be just fine. That's my read from the objective side of this. Huge win for USD. And why do I say that? USD lost a bunch of players, a bunch of offensive linemen, a bunch of good defensive players. USD started off slow. They've grinded. You got to respect that from the Yotes. I mean, you got to respect what the Yotes did. They built this thing a little bit, and they're staying right in this. I thought it was over early for them. And they battled back. So this game on Saturday was interesting. The Yotes and the Jacks still in a category of USD has proven they're here to compete. They're going to continue to build. South Dakota State's having a reset, just a touch, not a whole rebuild, just a touch. And the Jacks will be right there in the FCS. Right there in the FCS. This year, North Dakota State barely gets by. I understand it. But I still got North Dakota State. That's what I see from my standpoint. So I just got to remind people, just remind everybody today, it's not the end of the world when you see, hey, we've declined here a little bit. We've declined it. It's not a start over thing. It's not a burn it all down thing. We got to reload a little bit. We got to have Dan Jackson get some guys in here, and this thing's going to get going. I mean, it does not all fall apart in 3 games. Bitter rival loss, that was tough, no doubt. But it's not like USD hasn't knocked off some teams in the regular season. I mean, USD's knocked off some teams, right? Big win for the Yotes. SDSU, a reality check. The reality checks for South Dakota State football, to me, they're just not as good It's not going to be the end of the world, and Jacks fans think this is it's a meltdown for some of them. I think you guys are okay. And I'm going to spin that around to the NFL yesterday. Same story with the fan reaction. I love passion, but people are trying to tell me now on the Vikings side, I'm an objective viewer. I'm trying to be honest with you guys. People are trying to tell me with the Vikings that, well, J.J. McCarthy's just not it. J.J. McCarthy is just not it. Can you guys tell me that after 4 games? This is me. I'm a Broncos fan. What do you think I was thinking of Bo Nix after 4 games last year? Not great. That's 4 games. Bo Nix was not very good after 4 games. And now you could even say, hey, he got hot last year. What do you think about Bo Nix this year? Up and down. It's up and down. So let's not lose it with J.J. McCarthy right here, right now. I watched that yesterday. Made some inaccurate throws. You got, he's inaccurate. And so then we just bill him as that. Boy, he had some inaccurate throws. He sailed some passes. And he did. He did. But he had some nice throws along the way. They're throwing it way too much. Kevin O'Connell has to rein that in. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to maintain some drives. J.J. McCarthy is throwing it so much more than he's ever thrown it in his life. And it's 4 starts. 4 starts. And we're expecting J.J. McCarthy to lead the Vikings to wins over the Ravens. They just beat the Lions on the road. and then it's 1 week later. Oh, man, J.J. McCarthy's not it. He's not it. I know. I guess it comes with the territory. Fans are fanatics. I'm trying to thread the needle a little bit. There are reasonable fans. There were reasonable Jacks fans this weekend, reasonable, that realize the Jacks just aren't as good as they have been. The Vikings fans have now told me, J.J. McCarthy, the unreasonable ones, that's not it. They got to admit it. It's not it. Colin Cowherd comes on Fox Sports Radio this morning. Sometimes you just got to admit, it's not it. It's not working. Colin, I guess I know it's Hot Take Central time. I understand we try and get video watches and the whole thing. Nobody's saying 4 starts. You know how many yards Bo Nix threw for Thursday night? Bo Nix against the Raiders. Did you see that one? That was fun, wasn't it? 150 yards. It was bad. Bo Nix and the Broncos offense Thursday night was bad. And nobody says much because the Broncos still somehow won because it was the Raiders. And the Broncos defense is top 3. So J.J. McCarthy loses to the Ravens. They had the ball 1 score away. They were within 1 score with the 2-point conversion. So after all of that, the false starts, the 2 interceptions, the inaccuracies, he made some plays, threw it way too much. It's not over for J.J. McCarthy. You got to stick with it. The Vikings have to realize you got to stick with it. Watch out for Justin Jefferson. That's the guy I'm watching. Justin Jefferson's the guy I'm watching. Interception thrown. He doesn't hustle to go tackle the safety. That's the type of stuff I'm watching. So I understand it's easy to say, oh, that's it. It's over. That's it. Now, Justin Jefferson's the guy I'm watching. Hey, Justin, you're a real deal player. He didn't look like the real deal yesterday to me either. So I hate to break it to you. It's like, let's keep an eye on the guys that really should be leaders, really should be taking this on themselves. JJ, not McCarthy, Justin Jets. He wasn't with it yesterday. He was not with it, and then he mailed it in on some of those plays. So just keep an eye on stuff like that. I'm more concerned about Justin Jefferson pouting and giving up than J.J. McCarthy's 4th start. That's what I'm more concerned about if I'm a Vikings fan. A lot to cover tonight. I've got this story out of high school football out of Wyoming. So this is a big story, and we're going to hit on this. I'm going to start off by this so I can ask the question of the day. So Wyoming's got their state football championships coming up, just like we do this weekend. Gillette, Wyoming, has a 10-1 team. They're in the state championship, and the Gillette Campbell County head coach just got fired because of a profanity-laced commentary. It was a confrontation with a player in the locker room. So you're following this. Gillette, Wyoming High School, Campbell County. Coach gets fired because, and I'm not going to read what he said. You can find the articles. It's good coverage, Cowboy State Daily and stuff if you want to find it. But this is really interesting to me. We cover a lot of high school sports. High school football coach gets fired because that coach was caught on video. Some of the players were recording it. This was after a game leading into the semifinals. And so the video got posted. The coach gets fired. He said, that was my fault. He said, profanity, I used it. I can't do it. That's on me. He's taking the high road. He's out. So the coach isn't saying anything more. I want to know, this has a lot of layers to it. A lot of layers to it. Different world we live in now. Okay? Now you've got recordings as well where players can record stuff. Let me just start there. Okay? What do you think of high school athletes recording coaches in the locker room? What do you think of high school athletes recording coaches in the locker room? That's what I'd like to know. My question of the day as we start the show. Okay? What do you think of high school athletes? And I've seen this happen before, but this one just hitting the news. Gillette, Campbell County head football coach gets fired. Profanity towards a player. It was recorded. He's out. And the Campbell County Campbells are playing in the state championship this weekend. Coach is out. What do you think of high school athletes in general recording coaches in the locker room? You need accountability, or is that unfair to a coach? That's my question of the day. Big one to ponder. We'll get after it. You tell me. 605-720-1067 on the text line. What do you think of recording coaches in a locker room in today's age? Coming right back, we'll talk Vikings. Where is J.J. McCarthy on my list? You got to relax. Michael Rand covered the game yesterday. Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He's live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Gorilla Glue products offer the strength you need. With a variety of adhesives, tapes, glues, and even waterproofing sealants, you can build, create, or repair virtually anything with Gorilla in your toolbox. Check out all our Gorilla products in store and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Overcast tonight with a low of 46. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, 62. Lows dip down to about 36. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Wednesday with daytime highs approaching 62. 69 Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 58.
Kickoff just got bigger. Murphy's Pub and Grill is back with NFL Sunday Ticket. That means every game, every team, every Sunday. Right here at your favorite bar. Cheer loud, eat big, and score with Murphy's game day specials on food and drinks. The atmosphere, electric. The staff, legendary. The screens, everywhere. This season, don't just watch football. Experience it. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, baby. Murphy's Pub and Grill, your new football headquarters. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. Glad to have you here. Monday, just getting the week going. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. The Nate Brown Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union across South Dakota. 18 locations from Custer to Sioux Falls. Locations all throughout the Black Hills, and, of course, 4 locations in Sioux Falls. It's Black Hills Federal Credit Union, my family's banking partner. It's the right choice. We switched from our other bank. These guys are really good, whether it's loans, rates, personal, business, mobile banking. It's the best. I'm a member at BHFCU. Glad I switched. You can get started, bhfcu.com. Get started. Take a look, bhfcu.com. It matters. Really good for my family. The Nate Brown Show on tonight with Michael Rand. Talking Vikings, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Find him at startribune.com. Michael, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So, Vikings 4-5. This is to me, it's danger zone for the record. They still got some tough games. I don't think it's over, but it's danger zone. I want to start with the J.J. McCarthy. I just started my show saying I love fans that are passionate. I don't like guys that just, whatever. So I don't want the Minnesota whatever fans, but I don't want the fans that say, this is over. JJ's, it's over. This was 4 starts. I don't think we know yet. That's my read here. What's yours?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 4 starts, we were never going to know. Even if he was really good, these 4 starts, we wouldn't know, right? Like, it's too soon. It's the sample size is way too small. So, yeah, we probably have to be patient. I think every game is like you see some good things and you see some bad things. You see some concerning things. Like the accuracy feels a little concerning sometimes, but sometimes that's just footwork and things he can clean up. So I feel like it's still very much a work in progress. I don't know how they need to know before they go into next year where he's at, and I feel like because of his injuries and because of there's 8 games left in this season, they might not get all of the answers they need. They're going to get some of the answers they need.
Okay, the other part is, and maybe it's just how the game flows, he's thrown it 42 times. What does Kevin O'Connell have to do here with this game plan?
Well, he talked today about how I think he wanted to run more. I think part of it's just they need to run more, but some of it is they had 8 false start penalties. 5 of them were on first down. So if you go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15, it's hard to run on first down, right? Because even if you have what would typically be thought of as a good run or a productive run, you're probably going to be in second and fairly long. It's going to be 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10, like not a down you want. So I think that threw them off a little bit. I think they struggled to run a little bit early. I think Jones lost 5 on an early possession, second possession, and that kind of put him back. So, I think at the heart of it, he wants to throw. I don't think balance comes naturally to them. So I think he's always going to defer to throwing. So I think he did need to find, even in the chaos of that game, he needed to find better balance, because I did think they ran the ball pretty effectively by the end. Like Jones and Mason combined for like 13 carries for like 75, 76 yards, something like that. Like they were running it pretty well. They just didn't really commit to it, and I think McCarthy could use more of that help.
Michael Rand on tonight, StarTribune.com for the coverage of the Vikings and more. He's on X at Rand Ball. So if Michael Rand writes a column, okay, you write a piece.
Yeah.
If you write Vikings fans, J.J. McCarthy, let's all relax. Relax. Yeah. What do people say about that?
I think a lot of them understand, and a lot of them do relax. My sense from Sunday's game was that 90% of the fans were upset at O'Connell more than they were at McCarthy out of that game. I think they didn't like I think they didn't like some of the game flow stuff, the 3rd and inches that they throw a bomb on. And the rationale is fine. Like, you got Jefferson singled up. Like, that's a pretty good matchup win. But, A, there's no guarantee you're going to run and make it on 4th down if it's incomplete. And B, worst-case scenario happens. They Jefferson gets tangled up. They fall down, picked off in a moment where you just can't have a turnover. It's the first drive at the second half, third quarter, and you're up 10-9. You've been giving away momentum, though, and this was a momentum drive. You gave the ball away. You never led again. They came back, kicked a field goal. Ensuing kickoff is a turnover, then a touchdown. It's 19-10 all of a sudden. So sometimes I think O'Connell lets good be the enemy of great. He sometimes wants to deliver the knockout punch when all you got to do is a little jab. Just keep the chains moving. I think that was a case where game flow mattered more than, hey, we got a guy singled up, let's take a shot.
Michael, here's what I see with Justin Jefferson like on that play. It was picked off. He fell down. It was picked off. He didn't run after the safety. People have pointed that out. I watched it a lot today. I think that was a bad effort. I think that was frustration there. People say, well, Justin Jefferson wants to win so bad, that's why he does some of that. But I still can't have it. So I know he wants to win. What's your read on Justin Jefferson? Sometimes the body language effort after mistakes, not great.
Yeah, that wasn't a great look. Something was just off with him all day, it seemed like. He missed, he missed on a goal line catch that sometimes I feel like he comes down with that, 75% of the time. McCarthy missed him high and wide a few times. I mean, he was targeted 12 times. It wasn't like they weren't trying to get him the ball, but he only winds up with like 4 catches for, I want to say, 37 yards, something like that. So I think he's frustrated. But listen, frustration is no excuse for effort. And even if you're frustrated on a play, like what if you could have tackled him sooner? What if he runs that back for a touchdown? Like you feel pretty lousy. So I do think he's not like this wide receiver in the classic like wide receiver diva mold, but he had a little bit of pout to him yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, and that's the thing about him. It's like you pointed out, if he doesn't get targeted enough, well, then sometimes we've seen that. Then now he gets targeted a lot, but some of the throws are off. I feel like, can Justin Jefferson be the guy that leads J.J. McCarthy? It is interesting. Yeah. Like people say, well, J.J.'s a leader. Look at him, man. When they won against the Lions, look at him. Is Justin Jefferson the leader of this team?
He should be. I mean, he's their highest paid player. He is their best player by a long stretch still right now. I do think they probably could ask more of him in that realm. Like he's not just a number one receiver. He is one of the 3 best receivers in football, one of the best offensive players in the game. There probably is an element to his game where he needs to maybe lead a little bit more on the field, be that guy. This is his 6th season. He's never won a playoff game. I do probably feel like he's sitting here thinking, okay, when's this going to happen for me too?
Okay, last one on the J.J. McCarthy thing. So do Vikings fans know this year might have been a growing year for McCarthy, but how do we reconcile that with the roster moves and making a team that wants to win now? But I heard from a Vikings fan today, they said, it's fine. This is a growing year. That's what we expected. It's kind of hard to reconcile the two.
They tried to have it both ways, right? They basically said, he's young. We know he's going to make mistakes. We need to build as good of a team around him as possible so we can still be competitive while he's growing. And then basically all of that went out the window when he gets hurt after 2 games, when he was, frankly, pretty mediocre outside of that one quarter against the Bears in those first 2 games. But that just kind of hits reset on everything. All of a sudden, you got Carson Wentz for 5 games. He comes back, you're 3-4. You don't know exactly what you're doing, what you've got. So I think they've had to kind of readjust expectations. I don't think they're not out of it. Like if they beat the Bears on Sunday at home. Home's been a struggle, by the way, this season.
Yeah.
I think that's 3 home losses now for them. They've been better on the road actually this year in neutral sites, but they beat the Bears. They're 5-5. They're 3-0 in the division if they win that game, which is weird. I don't think that's a factor down the stretch because I don't think they're like a division champion kind of team, but they're not out of it. But I do think you do have to kind of recalibrate at the moment. Like if you went into the season and said, what's the most important thing this season, I probably would have told you J.J. McCarthy finding out where he is, what he is, would trump going 10-7 and losing in the first round or the division round.
Michael Rand on tonight, StarTribune.com, covers the Vikings and more. Find him there, StarTribune.com. Last one, what do you see from this Bears matchup? They beat the Bears on the road. That was the J.J. comeback.
Yeah.
But you just said Vikings 1-3 at home. That is bizarre. Yeah. What do you expect? Bears, they're winning. I don't know if they're very good, though, but they're winning way more than they have.
Yeah, Caleb Williams has given them some trouble, and he seems to be ascending a little bit. They struggle with mobile quarterbacks, with guys who can make plays. You saw it with Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson could have been a bigger test for them if he would have needed to be. I think they were kind of saving him since he's just coming back from that hamstring. But you saw, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, a couple times they played him already. Justin Herbert, guys have run on the Vikings or made plays with their legs that have hurt them this season. So I worry about that matchup, but I do think the Vikings are a better team still than the Bears in this moment. I'm curious to see what kind of level of crispness they play with in this game. Are they back to close to the standard they played against the Lions when they actually looked like the team they wanted to be?
Yeah.
Or are these this kind of sloppy, undisciplined, 8 false starts, 13 penalties, losing the turnover battle 3-0? Outside of all the McCarthy stuff, you just can't do that. So that's the thing I want to see. If they play a more disciplined game, I think they beat the Bears.
Turnovers, false starts, all of the mess, and they were 1 possession still on that last drive. That was wild. Bears coming in. Vikings need it. Stay in this thing. In the division, they'd be in good shape. They'd be 5-5 overall with the win. Covering it for the Star Tribune, Michael Rand on tonight across South Dakota, StarTribune.com. Michael, I appreciate you. Thanks.
You bet. Take care.
Appreciate it. Michael Rand tonight. Follow his work at StarTribune.com. Minneapolis Star Tribune Vikings writer live from the Twin Cities. Randball on X. All right. Interesting. Vikings were a mess yesterday. Not J.J. McCarthy overall. He wasn't great, that's for sure. But I keep saying we can't take these one-game things. It's like, no, there's been a few others. He's had 4 games. We totally just overreact today in the media, and I think it's just a 24 hours news cycle. I mean, we just overreact one day, and then the next week. I mean, I remember everybody talking about Bo Nix just a few weeks ago. Oh, well, Bo Nix and Sean Payton together, man, they are something. And then Thursday night, bad game against the Raiders, bad. And then everyone's like, well, Bo Nix having a tough time, man. I don't know, the Browns. It's like, come on, guys. Let's not go too crazy on 24 hours. That's why I'm not selling J.J. McCarthy stock at all. I'm not like over the top on J.J. like best thing ever. I never have said that, best thing ever. Not selling the stock at all. You can't sell that stock right now. Vikings will win Sunday. Book that. Book that. Against the Bears? Give me a break. Vikings will be 5-5, right? High school football, state championships. We're going to the Dome. Jason Andera with his preview from SDPB coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Does your home have a crawl space? When cold weather arrives, that can mean cold floors, frozen pipes, and higher energy.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back. Get 20% off our clean replacement windows and ensemble entry doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. You pay nothing until 2027. Plus, enjoy a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. Hurry! This Black Friday event is only here till December 13th. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. A reminder, you got to hit Atomic Wings in Sioux Falls. I'm telling you, it's game day, man, and you got to hit Atomic Wings. Boneless wings are unbelievable. The boneless wings are my favorite there. I normally don't love boneless wings. Like, oh, come on. Not at Atomic Wings. Fresh, 15 sauces, really, really good. 2 locations in Sioux Falls, atomicwings.com. Whether it's for game day, maybe you need some dinner, pick it up for the family, lunch, atomicwings.com. Put your order in. Just pick them up. You're good to go. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. We love Atomic Wings, man. Really good. Try it out if you haven't. Not a lot of great wing places. That's really good. AtomicWings.com. High school football championships. It's time for the Dome this week. Jason Adair has been on all season long. We're going to do one more now. And then how about a little recap next week? I'm not going to let him off yet. A little recap. Let's preview it first. Jason Adair with SDPB Sports. Jandy, how are you?
You know it. I will be on anytime you want, Nate. Love the show.
Here we go, man. I'm going to start AAA since you're taking a look at these AAA programs right now. The matchup everybody expected, Lincoln, Brandon Valley. Here comes the rematch. How different are these teams now than earlier? Are they different at all?
Well, they just played, a month ago? Right around a month ago. They're both very different teams just from a month. The last time these two teams played, Brandon Valley didn't have their starting quarterback, Briggs Knutson. They had several injuries. They still found a way to grind it out. Lincoln has been a lot different. They've switched some of their offensive starters to playing on the defensive side. They've gone through some of their own injuries. Yeah, anytime two teams in high school play, it can be a week apart. It just feels like it's going to be different every time they play.
Why'd Coach Fredenberg do that at Lincoln? Take some of the offensive guys, say, "Hey, we're gonna have you go play defense." Do you think that made a difference against Jefferson?
I think it did. It was just strange circumstances in that game. First of all, it was so cold and windy. It's the coldest, windiest game that they've had all year. All of a sudden, Lincoln decides, you know what, we don't have to pass every play. We can just run with our quarterback for 300 yards. Who does that? Let's just run for 300 yards with our quarterback. But that's exactly what they did. And then they had those guys playing on defense as well. I think that helped a little bit, but Jefferson is so strong running the football that that's a place where it was hard to find some extra bodies that really could make a difference on that side. So Jefferson definitely played in that game, but in the end, it was Lincoln. They just controlled the tempo of that game, and they scored every time they got their hands on the ball. And when you do that, it's really tough to beat them.
Sometimes you have an upset here or there, Jason. Are these two teams in the AAA class the best two from start to finish?
Well, from start to finish, exactly. They are. I think roster talent-wise, you look at the Brandon Valley team and just how many college players they have on that defense, and the big guy from heading to Iowa on their offensive starting line. You've got one of the best running backs in program history in Brandon. The talent's there, but then you got Lincoln. They have the best player in the state, and that throws all of everything else out as far as strategy, as far as how to game plan. You got to stop Brody Schaefer, and that's the one wild card nobody else in the state has. So you put those two things together, and you come up with what should be a heck of a game.
Okay, Jason Adair on tonight, previewing the Dome. Let's get to the 11AA, Yankton Pierre. I picked it. I just thought Pierre would get back on Huron. They did. Is this a dangerous game for Yankton? How's this matchup?
Well, you look at this again on paper, and it looks like a dead heat to me. These two teams just played again earlier in the year, and Yankton had to score a late touchdown to win the thing, and then their records are fairly the same. Their offensive point production's pretty much the same. Their defense is pretty much the same. But you look at how Pierre's played over the last month, and you start looking and saying, okay, I think there's an advantage there. I think this Pierre team found another dude with this Jared Deal, who's playing quarterback right now, and he's been averaging over 150 yards rushing per week, and has thrown 10 touchdowns in his 4 games that he's played. So I think that gives them an advantage that Yankton really doesn't have at this point.
Okay, Pierre Yankton's going to be good. Pierre making the change at QB. That seems like that's made a huge difference, right? This has kind of allowed Pierre to get the offense going a little bit, I think.
Oh, It's been huge. It's been absolutely huge because, they don't need the big bruisers to move the football on the ground where they can just spread out the offense and use Jaron Deal to find open running lanes, and that's what they've done. And knowing Steve Steele, he's got one more trick in his pocket, too, when it comes down to the end of the year. So I just really like what Pierre does every year when they keep improving week by week, and then by the end of the year they have a whole different team and one of the best teams in the state.
How big of an upset would it be if Lennox took down Christian?
Not as big as you might think.
Oh.
I mean, the closest game we've had this year between these two teams, it was a 17-point game the first time they played. But Lennox has gotten a lot better since then. So I'm not just going to hand the trophy to Christian here. I think Lennox has probably the best defensive line in the state right now. The way that their offense has been playing this last month, they can play with Sioux Falls Christian. I think this is the one that people look on paper and they're just going to hand it to Christian. I don't think so. I think this is going to be maybe one of the closest games of the entire weekend.
Wow, Jason Andera, bold tonight.
Yeah, I really do. I do. They've got a couple losses, but they're a much different team than they were earlier in the year.
Okay, mark that one down. I'm going to be watching that 11-8 title game, Sioux Falls Christian Lennox. Let's go West River a couple, Jason. Elk Point Jefferson taking on St. Thomas More. I think this might be St. Thomas More's best chance in a long time. They had some close title losses back in the day against Ron Colley way back in the day. They could have a shot here. EPJ STM, is EPJ balanced enough? Do they have to be balanced at all, or can they just run it against St. Thomas More?
Well, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to just run it up and down the field. They've done that with a couple of different backs. They have now found another guy. They moved from tight end to running back, Aiden Hammett, who's really carrying the offense for EPJ right now. But you said it, this STM team, 0-6, I think, for their trips in the Dome. Lost 4 straight back in the day. But I think people don't realize how good this defense is and how big their offensive line is. They can play snap for snap with a team like EPJ. They just haven't had to yet this year. I would strongly lean toward St. Thomas More in this game.
You would? Okay, that's interesting. Yep. EPJ is pretty one-dimensional, but back, this is what always happened. East River teams pushed around St. Thomas More usually, and you say not so fast.
No, I don't think this EPJ team's undefeated, obviously, but they're not as good as some of the teams even in the last couple of years that Winners had, that EPJ themselves have had. I just have a feeling STM has the best, most overall sound team in this class.
Last one, I'll do one 9-man game. It's Wall. You said from the start, we'd been doing this at the beginning of the season. We started in August. You said Wall could be the state champion in 9A. Do you still think so this week?
I really do. I think this, how some games just kind of get away from teams. I think this one is the candidate for the game that could get away the quickest. I think Wall's offense, they've already broken their own school record for most points in the season. They are putting up just bunches of points, not only passing but running the ball. And then Howard's still young. They only have 5 seniors on that team. They've played well to get where they have, but this one, to me, looks like the one that could get away.
Jason Andera with a preview. We didn't get them all. We'll be ready this week. He's covering it for SDPB Sports. These guys do an outstanding job. The games will be on. What are you going to do? A little sideline reporting? What do you got going?
Yeah, I'm going to be hosting. We're going to add a pregame and a halftime show, and I get to host that. So,
all right.
All these years kind of watching the title games on the sideline, I get to be part of the broadcast. It's going to be a blast.
All right. You guys do a good job at starting this week at the Dome, SDPB Sports. Jason, have it fun, man. I appreciate you.
All right, take care.
See ya. Jason Andera on tonight with our high school football hitter every Monday on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Jandy tonight. He'll be the pregame and halftime host. Give Craig Maddock a break, would you? All right. Hey, let's go with Matt Zimmer tonight. The Nate Brown Show moves on with a look at the Jackson Yotes. Is there some overreaction in the SDSU fan base or not? Matt Zimmer, his read on where the Jacks are at and how big was the win for this Yotes team. SiouxFallsLive.com. Zimmer's next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate our affiliates, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, also Fox Sports Rapid City. The Nate Brown Show live tonight. Reaction Monday coming up. National radio host, the famous Rob Kegron, is in tonight. We're making him South Dakota famous. That's big time. That's big time. Rob Kegron's coming up next hour. A Reaction Monday with Rob. He is in. Well, we've had some reaction already from Jacks fans and Yote fans from Saturday, where Matt Zimmer was covering the game. Yotes take down the Jacks. 3 straight losses now for SDSU. Matt Zimmer is SiouxFallsLive.com. He runs the show there in sports, right? Yes, SiouxFallsLive.com. Follow his work there. Matt J. Zimmer on Twitter. If you're not following him, how are you not following him? Matt J. Zimmer on Twitter. Matt, welcome in. How are you?
Good, Nate. How are you?
Good, man. So I got a tough question here. This is one of those tough radio questions for you. Was that a bigger win for the Yotes, for the program, where they're at, where Johansson's trying to get this thing turned around and going here this year, where they struggled early, or a bigger loss for the Jacks? What would you say?
Oh, I would say it's definitely a bigger win for USD. The big loss for SDSU was the week before against Indiana State. You know, that was the loss that crushed them and could potentially ruin their season. And for USD, I feel like that win maybe clinches them a playoff spot. I don't think it's fully a done deal yet, but I am pretty sure that even if USD loses this week, I think they're in the playoffs. That was a big win. They've got back-to-back wins now over teams that were in the top 10 at the time they won the game. They've really turned their season around. And, you know, with recruiting and trying to get fans and, you know, these teams being only 100 miles apart and the fact that SDSU has had the upper hand for so long, they're the team with 2 national championships. Any win for USD in that rivalry is really big. It shows that they're relevant. It shows that they can compete with them. It shows recruits that they're a worthwhile team to consider. So definitely I think it's a bigger win for USD.
Matt Zimmer on tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com covers the Jacks Yotes. So this Jacks team has now, you know, beaten Montana State on the road, and then turns around here later in the year, the Indiana State loss, and now this loss, and they've lost 3 in a row. I'm trying to determine if this team is different, not just Chase Mason. That's an X factor. That's a big one. But is the defense different? Is this team different from the Sac State, Montana State wins to the last few weeks?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it's been a weird season, not just with SDSU, but all across FCS football. There have been a lot of upsets. There have been a lot of teams that early in the year we thought were maybe national championship contenders that fell off the map. There have been teams like USD that fell off the map and then crawled back onto it. SDSU was 7-0 and ranked number 2, but there were kind of some red flags in that time. And now you can kind of look back at it and go, geez, you know, they probably could easily have been 5-2 instead of 7-0, and then they'd be sitting here, you know, at 5-5 or something overall. I mean, it's not where you can look at it and go, well, this is what happened. You know, Chase Mason got hurt, or these guys left, or this happened, this happened, this happened. It's a combination of a lot of things. Jimmy Rogers leaving and taking his whole coaching staff with. People make a big deal out of the players he took with him, and he did take a lot of players with him. But I think also not having Jimmy Rogers calm the defense. I mean, Jimmy's a defensive genius. He's a tough guy to replace. You know, the depth isn't there at certain spots. You know, Nate White dying before the season. He was supposed to be one of the most important players to their offense, and running back depth has been an issue. The offensive line has underachieved, and I don't think that has a lot to do with losses in the portal or depth issues. Guys they thought were going to be really good haven't been quite as good as they hoped they would be. You know, you just look at up and down, whether it's personnel, whether it's coaching, whether it's injuries, whether it's their opponents. It's just been kind of a weird year, and week to week you don't know what you're going to get, and that's still the case as we sit here. You know, now that they've lost to Indiana State, you can kind of say, okay, I guess they can lose to anybody because Indiana State is not a good football team. But at the same time, they still have probably the best win of anybody in the FCS. You know, they won a game against the number 3 team in the nation on the road. So, you know, you can say, well, they're probably going to lose their last 2 and finish 7-5. I don't know. Maybe Chase Mason comes back, they win their last 2, and they're 9-3, and they get a playoff seed. So it's just been a really weird year, and I don't think we're going to have a really good handle on where any of these teams are until after it's over.
What do you get the feel from Dan Jackson right now? What is he feeling about the team, and what do you think his message is to the team right now on this tough 3-game stretch?
I think his message to the team is, hey, we won our first 7 games, and some of them were against really good football teams. We can still be that football team. You know, he's said multiple times, we didn't get to 7-0 by accident. You know, you don't beat Sac State by 17 points by accident. You don't win at Montana State by accident. Youngstown State looks like one of the better teams in the league, if not the country right now. They won in Ohio, and that one too. So it's pretty obvious that the loss to North Dakota State, coming at the same time they lost Chase Mason to an injury, really did a number on this team's confidence. Because I think, you know, getting beat that bad at home, that would affect anybody's confidence. But then on top of it, saying, oh, geez, this guy that was supposed to be our leader, our best offensive player, we don't have him now. We're asking freshmen to win games for us. I just don't think it left him with a lot of confidence. And then the Indiana State loss, you know, Indiana State's not the better team there. They lost to a team that they should never have lost to. That impacts your confidence. So I think they're still trying to build that back up. I think from Dan's perspective, as the coach of South Dakota State, I think he's still kind of looking at it from a little bit of a big picture standpoint. Not that he doesn't want to win this year, but he wasn't brought there just to win this year. He was brought there to keep this program at the top of FCS, to make it a championship caliber team, a team that could be ready to move up to FBS at some point. So while it's disappointing that they've lost these last 3 games, and maybe they will go 7-5 and miss the playoffs, Dan is here. Ultimately, he came in late in January. He had to do what he had to do to put a team together, to put a staff together. Again, not saying this year doesn't matter, but it was kind of let's do the best we can to put a team together, and the work's really going to start after this year. So it's a tough balancing act for Dan as far as trying to appease the fans and the current roster and saying, yes, we're going to do everything we can to win this year. But I think he also has one eye on the future and saying, whatever happens this year, whether it's great or whether it's underwhelming, there are bigger things down the road that we're kind of trying to keep focused on.
Talking FCS with Matt Zimmer. He covers it for SiouxFallsLive.com. He's here on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. So you said, what if they lose to Illinois State UND? What if? So 7-5, then that's no playoffs.
I don't know. I've gone back and forth. When they lost to Indiana State, which I didn't think there was any way they would ever do that. I kind of looked at it like, okay, worst case scenario, they're 8-4, they're in. Well, then when they lose to Indiana State, then you kind of realize, okay, I guess anything's on the table here. And you think, man, if they lose out, go from 7-0 to 7-5, why would the committee take a team that's on a 5-game losing streak, a team that fell apart? You'd think that wouldn't get them in. But then I've been looking at it the last couple of days, and like I said, Montana State, that's the best win anybody has on their resume. Youngstown State's a good win. Sac State's a good win. I just don't know how the committee is going to, are they going to say, hey, this is a blue blood. This is a 2-time national champion. This is a team that's been to the semifinals 6 years in a row. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They had some injuries. They had, some weird circumstances. I don't know. I could really see it going either way. I could see them saying, we're not going to take a team on a 5-game losing streak. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But I could also see them saying, hey, what they did at the beginning of the year is just as meaningful as what they did at the end. I don't know. I mean, if they win one of these last 2 games, it's a moot point. But there's a really good chance they won't. And then your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, last one for you, Matt. The QB situation has been a carousel. The freshman guy, that was a heck of a game, really. Kept the team in it. They were in that thing. USD made the plays, grinded out to great rushing attack. So USD made the plays, but can SDSU win without Chase Mason?
Well, I think they have a little more hope now because I think they did find something in Jack Henry. First half, he was really good. Second half, it seemed like USD made some adjustments, made it hard on him. He struggled a little bit. But that first half was the most success they've had offensively, certainly since Chase went down. They brought Jack Henry there thinking he could be a potential franchise quarterback at some point. Probably had to happen a little faster. He was a little bit raw coming out of Del Rapids, the program that obviously didn't run a college-friendly offense necessarily. But you did get a sense that I think the team maybe rallied around Jack a little bit or sees something there that, hey, maybe we got something here. So, the Jack, it really is up to, I think, Dan Jackson and Eric Eisness and those offensive coaches to, find a way to win with a young quarterback. And, maybe that was tougher with Luke Marble than it is under Jack Henry. I think this is a big week for them to kind of look at what Jack did and say, okay, we got something here. What can we do to make things easier on Jack, to play to his strengths? We saw Jack Smith, the freshman receiver from Lincoln, had his best game so far. Because, obviously they have injuries at wide receiver and running back. They just got to find a way, to, as obvious as it sounds, to put them in position. Because when guys get hurt, it's a little tough to figure it out on the fly. You want to just plug them in and have them do the same thing that the injured guys do, but it doesn't work that way. So I think they probably feel a lot better today about their chances without Chase than they did a week ago.
Most likely scenario, Jax and Yotes both get in. Yotes get in, Jax get in, or they both miss?
They're not both going to miss. I think USD's already in. And I think just from the odds standpoint, like I said, there's a 50-50 chance that the Jacks are in anyway if they lose out. And then if they win another game, they're definitely in. So I guess I'd say the most likely scenario is that they both get in. And the second most likely is that USD gets in and the Jacks don't.
Wow. Matt Zimmer on tonight. Great coverage. Find him at SiouxFallsLive.com. Great place. They do a great job. Matt, I appreciate you. Thanks.
You bet, Nate.
Appreciate it. Matt Zimmer tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com covers the FCS, the Jacks and the Yotes, and the big win for USD on Saturday. Matt Zimmer on tonight. It is a Reaction Monday on the Nate Brown Show, and a lot to discuss with Rob Kegron, our guest host every Monday. He's coming in right now, and he's going to attack the biggest national news of the day.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
It's the holiday season, and I cannot wait to spend time with my family and friends, just catching up, watching football and stretching the elastic in my favorite sweatpants to within an inch of its life. Turkey's great, but my favorite part of the meal is the gravy. I ladle it over my turkey, mashed potatoes, even the stuffing. That's why I make sure we always have a big basket of warm Village Hearth dinner rolls to help soak up every drop. Baked locally, delivered fresh daily. Village Hearth dinner rolls are the natural choice for holiday meals.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty or utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Winter is almost here. It's time to say goodbye to drafty doors, poor quality windows, sky-high heating bills, and outdated design. And hello to Acclaim replacement windows and stunning ensemble entry doors from Renewal by Andersen. Now's the time to invest in your home and your family's comfort. And what better time than our Black Friday event, where you keep your cash and spend ours. Get 20% off windows and doors plus a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. You won't pay a dime till 2027 with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. Call now. This incredible offer is good through December 13th. Don't wait. Visit RBARapidCity.com today to book your free estimate. You don't want to miss out on windows and doors that are durable, energy efficient, and custom made for the perfect fit from Renewal by Andersen. Our Black Friday sale is here. Book today because every home should be warm and cozy.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we are on and we are ready on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio. Welcome in across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for making this show possible. We appreciate you. When we are live on a Monday, we call it Reaction Monday. From the weekend, we bring in Rob Kegron. Rob Kagron, you have a nice weekend. Was it a nice weekend for you?
What would you call a nice weekend? I mean, I watched a lot of sports, so that makes it always a nice weekend, right? If you're at home and watching sports all weekend, college football, pro football, is it not a nice weekend? Yeah, for sure it's a nice weekend.
See, I was going to say it was kind of cold, windy, so you had to kind of stay in.
It was cold.
Watch some games.
Sure. Absolutely.
I was in Las Vegas. It was 80. Now, here's the thing. I went outside a couple of times.
Yep.
But Saturday, I didn't go outside. I hate to break it to you. I was in Las Vegas. It's 80 degrees. It's college football. There was unbelievable games on all day. I didn't go outside.
Well, one of the crazy things about going to Vegas, right, and you and I have gone plenty of times, college football on a Saturday in Vegas, it starts at 9 a.m.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's like breakfast with college football, right? It is really cool to watch college football while eating breakfast in Las Vegas.
Oh, I loved it. So I didn't go outside. I watched a ton of games Saturday, Sunday, and now we come back today. We got a big Monday night game tonight, Green Bay, Philly. That's, I think, the headline. And I got this high school story. I'm gonna shoot around with Rob as well, our question of the day. So hang on for this high school story if you haven't heard it. But the biggest news of the day, I don't know how this happens. We got Rob Kagron, a New York City, born and raised, a native. And we keep talking about the Giants as the biggest newsmakers. Like, Jackson Dart gets the start. He's looking pretty good. He's making me eat crow. Now it's the New York Giants firing Brian Daboll. And here's what I did yesterday. I'm watching that game. I take the Bears. And I'm worried. It's 20-10. I'm like, well, the Giants are finally going to hang on. And then it's a meltdown again. Caleb Williams runs in a couple of times. And now they fire Brian Daboll. And I just have to ask, did you expect that today?
No, I absolutely did not expect it today. Here's what I'll say. I watched that game intently, as I always do. I watch all the games, as most listeners know at this point, but I certainly have a keen eye on my New York Giants. I watched that game. I liked a lot of what I saw with Dart, obviously, until he got hurt.
Yeah.
And then you watch very similarly, the game wasn't similar, but the end, the crumble at the end, kind of the same way as when my Giants played your Broncos, Nate, right?
Yeah.
Like
similar.
I'm just watching it before it's like, the tragedy is going to happen, but you don't expect it, and yet you see it unfold before your eyes, like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. What is happening? Why is it a tragedy again? Why are the Giants blowing a game with 4 minutes to go, up 2 scores, and they find a way to lose another game? I did think this was the nail in his coffin for the end of the season. I don't think
you told me he would finish the season here on the show. You thought.
Absolutely, because I what benefit, what gain do you get by changing coaches mid-season? I still haven't understood this, other than the fact that you don't want a lame duck coach sitting there for another 8 weeks or something. I get that part, but the one thing you'd say about Daboll is he's developed Dart well in these first 8-9 weeks. When he's given him a chance, Dart has played pretty well. Right? He's given the team a chance to win games.
I agree.
So what helps Dart the most going forward? Is it another 8 weeks of Brian Daboll, or is it another 8 weeks of, whenever he comes back, of course, with this concussion thing, but is it another 8 weeks of an interim coach? I think Daboll gives him probably the best chance to develop. I know Daboll's not the solution long term because you blew another terrible lead. So I was absolutely shocked today. Giants are not big on firing coaches mid-season, right? It's pretty rare for them to do something like this. So I absolutely did not expect this to happen. I thought it would be at the end of the season.
Normally, the NFL, it's got to be pretty bad. And I'm not saying it's not bad at 2-8. They've had some meltdowns. Is he responsible for some of these meltdowns?
Yes.
The Broncos meltdown, yesterday's meltdown. He is?
100%. Who else would be responsible, right? Like, at this point in the season, you're 2-8. Dart has given you a number of chances to win, including he won a big game against the Philadelphia Eagles on a Thursday night. We talked about this, like a month ago, right? Where we didn't think they had any chance to win that game. Dart gives you a great chance, plays a great game, wins the game. You go to Denver, and you're winning by a ridiculous amount of points going into the fourth quarter, and you lose that game. Closing games. And so, if you really think about how can head coaches affect football games, It's creating winning cultures, winning mentalities, finding ways to finish games, right? They're not going to be involved in every single play and all of the X's and O's. To me, it's about building a culture. And I think if you look at the great coaches that are currently in the NFL and certainly over the last 20, 30 years, it's how do they get these teams to play together, play for each other, finish games, right? Like that is where I think a coach can get a team over the top. Dable has not done that. We have to admit that.
You know what I see? I look at it objective. I look at it. He has them ready to go. They're not coming out falling flat. They're not falling flat. Here he has them ready to go. They're not like the Bills yesterday. What a mess.
Sure.
They're coming out playing. You know what I didn't see? The players finish it. The players did nothing. They did nothing against the Broncos. They did nothing yesterday. Who's this GM? What's going on with this GM? Why do you say it's Brian Dable's fault? You think you're going to get any better with this GM, what he's done?
Well, I'm not sold on the GM either. I'll say that, Nate. I think Shane has made some very good decisions. I'm not sure that the 53-man roster as a whole is enough to save his job. It might be.
That's what I'm wondering.
It might be. But you don't think if your team is ready to play, right? And I get your point. I think you make a valid point, right? Like if the team shows up ready to play, they travel to Chicago, they're 2-7, they show up ready to play, they're up 20-10 in the fourth quarter. That's good coaching. But that's one element of the good coaching, Nate, right? What about the other of it? How have you prepared that team to play 4 quarters? You're a coach, right? You've coached basketball, right? Your team comes out ready to go, raring to go. They get to the fourth quarter in a basketball game and they're up 8 points. Isn't it your job to keep that team's focus for the entire 4 quarters, not just the first 3?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's hard to keep 7th grade girls focused. But it's the NFL guys should have been focused yesterday. The players blew it. I mean, I'm not telling you Brian Dable's the best of all things, but he's been a pretty good offensive coach. He's helped you. You said it, Jackson Dart. I'm just telling you, are your problems going to be fixed by a new coach? Is this franchise going to come back? Can they be elite? That's what I asked you today. Can they be elite with a new coach? That's all you need?
No, I don't think that's all you need at all. I think if you're just saying we're going to keep the same nucleus intact, we're going to keep the same general manager, and we're going to add in a new coach and expect different results, I don't agree with that, right? I don't think that's enough. But do I think that sometimes players are human beings, Nate, right? Sometimes they need to hear it in a different way. They need a different approach. I like Dable. I think he's been a decent coach. I agree with you. Like, he's done a good job with the offense. But the record is the record, right? Like, how many 2-8 seasons can we start with before we realize this isn't working? Now, might that be some on the general manager and the players? Yes. I agree with you. But is it also on the coach? Yes, right? At some point, I can't fire 53 players. I can fire a coach, though.
What are you going to do? Go and get Lane Kiffin? Who are you going to find? I mean, we act like these new coaches are just waiting out there. Everybody's going to find the next Sean McVay. Who are you going to find?
Well, I think that's the job, right? Is that not the job to find the next find the next combo of coach and quarterback? McVay. I know you're not a big fan, but Nick Sirianni has done a very good job in Philadelphia. Has he not?
I don't know about that, but
you don't know about that?
He's had nice players too, but we'll find out. I mean,
what do you mean we'll find out? He's won a Super Bowl, Nate. He beat Kansas City and beat them handily.
The best players. We already went over that.
Andy Reid, we know, is a good coach, but when we paired him up with Patrick Mahomes, and let's be fair, Mahomes was an average college quarterback at best. You would agree with that?
Good. He was good at Texas Tech.
Average, yeah. And you put him with Andy Reid, and all of a sudden now we have a juggernaut, right? Like, I do think this combo of head coach and quarterback is the most essential partnership in all of sports.
Can we find it with the New York Giants? They've been looking for a while.
Can we find it? Yes. Will we find it? I'd be a fool to say yes. Pat Shurmur, Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge, Brian Dable. Where else would you like me to go since the Tom Coughlin days?
I love that. Some great names. Joe Judge, McAdoo. Judge. I mean, boy.
So do I think we're going to do it? No, of course I don't think we're doing it. I think a year from now I'm going to be pulling my hair out again, Nate. Sitting in the studio across from you thinking like, Oh, we're 2-8 again. Let's give them another year. Let's try to figure it out.
This is something. Listener text coming in. Why are the Giants going to keep the GM? The owner said the GM is going to pick the new coach.
I think generally, and pardon the pun there, I do think regularly general managers get more than one shot at this. Coaches don't. In fairness, Brian Daboll did get a few different quarterbacks that he could work through.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess.
Well, he did, right? And he didn't
Daniel
get
Jones.
it done. Yeah, and you're supposed to be a quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer. Daniel Jones playing well for Indy, although despite the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that hurts Daboll.
Yeah,
right?
it
Like,
does.
we have to be
It
honest.
does.
Right? Now he gets Dart, but they're still not winning. Does Shane get one more chance with a coach? I think so. The defensive line is very good. The defense as a whole has not played as well as they should have, although they played fairly well on yesterday. So I can't go crazy about that performance, but I do think general managers get at least 2 chances at coaches to really try to match up roster and coach.
Well, what this general manager is going to say is, I got Dart, I got Scattaboo, I got Neighbors. So, see, I've got guys.
Traded for Bradley Burns.
Okay.
Brian Burns, sorry.
I think he thinks he's got guys. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, because those guys weren't, they're 2-8. They're still 2-8.
They're terrible.
Brian Daboll out as Giants coach. Rob Kegron starting over again. What a history with the coaches of the Giants. I want to get into this coach talk. So it's a question of the day. And I want to ask Rob Kegron what he thinks. It's our society today. A high school coach in Gillette, Wyoming gets fired for what he was saying in the locker room, and it was recorded. We'll discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
All kinds of vehicles, all kinds of loans, all as low as 4.99% APR. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we're here to help all kinds of people, just like you. Get moving. From truck drivers to van warriors, we got the right loan to fit your style with rates as low as 4.99% APR. Wherever the road takes you, start with BHFCU. Apply today at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818.
Offer subject to credit approval. BHFCU is member owned and insured by NCUA.
West River, are you ready? The South Dakota State women's basketball team is bringing the action to the Monument for a border war showdown against the University of Montana Grizzlies. Coming off an appearance in the second round of the NCAA tournament, the SDSU women's basketball team will face the University of Montana. This is a matchup you don't want to miss. November 15th, the Jackrabbits hit the hardwood, and it's time to show the power of West River pride. Get your tickets now at the Blue Peak Ticket Office or online at themonument.live. Be part of history. SDSU versus the Lady Grizz, November 15th. Be there.
Get unmatched selection at the best prices this holiday season from your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include all flavors of Bailey's Irish Cream, $29.49 for a $7.50. Save $4 on Juggernaut red wines, now only $15.99. Or get a $7 savings on your next bottle of Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, now just $23.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Cadron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Overcast tonight with a low of 46. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, 62. Lows dip down to about 36. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Wednesday with daytime highs approaching 62. 69 Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 58 degrees.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Your sports, your show, from East River to West.
And glad to have you on board tonight. The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. We got the crew tonight, man. Matt Kearney's in the house. Yeah, let's go. It's Rob Kegron as well. Reaction Monday here on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. A lot of NFL talk. We're going to get to more of that tonight. But I got to go to this high school sports story. Covered a lot of high school sports on the show, and I want a reaction from Rob. He's kind of old school. I know, old man yelling at the clouds sometimes, but I want to know if he's up to speed, new age. I want to know if he's reasonable tonight. We're about the same age. Let's see where we're coming at on this. So this isn't a great story. It's not a fun one to talk about. Gillette, Wyoming has Campbell County High School. It used to be a powerhouse. They used to have the only high school in the town. It's a pretty big market. Then they had Thunder Basin start up, and so then Gillette, Campbell County kind of went down a little bit in sports. And so now in football, they've revived. And they used to lose, and now they're winning. And they had this coach who came in. He spent some time at Nebraska, was a quality control guy. He's a Gillette native. So this guy comes back. He's winning. I think they 9 wins last year, something like this, and now they're winning. They get into the semifinals. They're in the state championship this Saturday. So Campbell County, Wyoming, state championship game coming up. Their head coach gets fired because of a profanity that was being targeted as a player. Profanity outburst is what it was called. Reading this news story at a Cowboy State Daily. Profanity-laced outburst at a player in the locker room after their playoff game. So this was a win. They beat Laramie. They won. The coach was upset at a player. How did we know about this? It was recorded. The newspaper said there was another player that was recording it as well, so maybe a couple of recordings. And so the coach, he hasn't said, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The coach got fired. He said, I deserve the consequences. I'm going to take the high road. I yelled at a player and used profanity, and you can't do that. I deserve the consequences. I'm going to take the high road. So he said he's going to watch the team from afar. They're going to play in the state championship this Saturday. The coach is out. They're having a board meeting on this tomorrow in Gillette. But the decision is already done. It's done. I made it my question of the day because I played high school football. My coach was tough. He could be listening right now. My coach was tough. I don't remember crazy, really over the top, but I'm thinking we probably had some profanity. I hate to tell you, even other players, coaches saying stuff. It's a world where football, you get this. There's profanity. There is, whether people like it or not. And this coach gets fired over it. So it's turned into a national story. This has made some national headlines. A coach gets fired. It was recorded. There's 2 layers.
Yep.
Profanity in a player. The player's recording it. You and I, we didn't have that. We never would have had that. I don't know if we would have had the capability. If a coach saw that and found that out, you'd be even in bigger trouble. What do we think about athletes in general recording? Because this isn't the first time. This has happened before, stuff like this, recording coaches in the locker room.
Yeah, you won't be surprised with my take, Nate. I can't stand it. I have no interest in student athletes and high school athletes recording their coaches in the middle of a locker room. I do think there is something to be said about the coach taking responsibility and recognizing that he probably went too far in this particular instance. There's no reason that there should ever be. If it were my team, your phone is not in the locker room. Sorry. You're not playing for my team and bringing your phone in. We are going to be singularly focused on our goal, on our mission of what we're going to achieve, which is to win this football game. Your phone does not come in. And it's not because I don't want you to record me. I don't want you to have any distractions. And I think this is where young athletes, high school athletes, sometimes, and I don't mean this to be so harsh, but if you're going to go play a high school sport, be all in on it, or don't. Nobody's forcing you to play in the football game. And the fact of the matter is, the coach has done a great job, and just like you said, turning that program around that was kind of really down in the dumps for a bit. And I've read a couple of these stories about this when you told me we were going to talk about this today. He's done a great job of turning the program around, and now you're going to go out there and record him? No. Two things can be true at the same time. Coach went too far. Probably shouldn't have had all that profanities.
He said that was a one-time thing for me. That's not who I am.
I'll tell you, if I were the coach taking over, first thing, no phones. If I say something terrible, you'll have 5 guys behind you backing you up saying that I should be out too.
Are you going to run for governor? That's what we're trying to. No phones.
No phone. It is ridiculous though, Nate. This gotcha culture. Like, even with your own team. I mean, this is not. I get if it were a bad team, right? Like, sometimes bad teams, like we just talked about Dable, right? Giants are 2-8. Clearly, the players are not completely responding to him. You get a bad team. Sometimes there's a bit of mutiny. It's like, how do we get this? We don't like playing for this guy, right? We stink. We don't like the way we feel playing for him. We want to get him out. You're about to go to the state finals, right? Don't I want to play for this guy? Isn't there a way that why do I want to get you? Right? Why do I want to have this gotcha moment?
When we don't know I don't know the specific instance. I don't know the relationship. I don't know how that was going. I don't know the coach. The coach. He's won some games. He's got it seems like they're winning. So whatever tactics or philosophy or culture he's building, whatever, they're winning now. I do think, the recording is the issue where people say, wait, should we be able to record a coach? He's emotional. It's right after the game. He's upset. Maybe him and this player had a dust-up. I don't know. Does that solidify, he's got to be out. He's got to be out. And that's what I've asked the audience. I said, hey, what do you think of athletes? Remember this happened with Antonio Brown. It was like, I don't know if he was recording. I think he was. He had his maybe live, like Instagram Live or something like that.
Absolutely.
Tomlin was saying stuff, and he had that going. What do we think of phones and athletes recording coaches? 91% of the audience voting tonight, it's just a Twitter poll, 91% say it's unfair to the coaches to record them when you're in a locker room. 9% say it's fine for accountability.
Yeah, Nate, I think the audience is completely spot on here, because I do think the coach could have done something wrong, but that doesn't excuse the behavior of recording him secretly. Let's be fair, right? It's not like the players sitting there like, I'm going to get you, coach. I'm watching you, right? I get that they're young people, so I got to be careful with what I say, but I don't think that is something that I would want my child to be doing in a locker room. And you and I both played a lot of sports. We're certainly involved in sports on a daily basis. I don't want a kid sneaking a phone into the locker room in some ways. And I know this is a bit
probably didn't
over
sneak
the top.
It in. Probably everybody has them, I assume.
Sure, but sneaking in terms of recording. The coach didn't realize he was being recorded, is my point, right? I know this sounds a little over the top, but a locker room is a sacred space, right? It's the team's opportunity to bond together, get together, be focused on a common goal. After victories, celebrate together. After losses, commiserate together. I don't want that all being recorded. Right? Why does everything have to be recorded in life?
Here's what I will say. I've thought about this. I wish that coach and that player don't know the relationship. I sure think there's better ways that they could have worked that out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I sure think there's way better ways that they could have worked that out. Don't know what happened in the game. Don't know what the incident was. I don't. What about a meeting? What about hey, we got to have a serious discussion.
Yeah.
Grab a couple of players. Hey, coach, I got to talk to you. We got, this is my bad here or your bad here. Let's have a conversation. And by the way, sometimes coaches are emotional. They're this. Sometimes coaches will say, well, it's never personal, usually.
Sure.
Coach will say, hey, it's not personal. It's emotional and stuff. A bad instance, and do you want to be framed by your bad episode?
No, of course not, right? And is it, again, I haven't seen the video. I don't know if you have.
I haven't seen the video.
Okay.
Just saw the quote.
So I don't know exactly the words that he said, right, in that locker room experience. I do think there are certain things that you say, even if you want to excuse it as in the heat of the moment, that are a bit disqualifying, right? I think there are absolute lines that can't be crossed. But if he's just, the way the stories are written, that it's this profanity-laced, outburst, is that enough for a guy who's done so much good for a program to fire him? I don't know.
At least on the field, good that we see.
Yeah,
right?
I would really need to
wins.
see the words to know, and I don't want to. We're not certainly going to get into them here on this show. But
No, I can't. And I've got them, but there's big words there.
Like words that are disqualifying.
Well, big words.
Yeah. All right, you would know better than I would.
And by the way, the coach, I will say, said, I can't do it, and I'm going to take the high road. I deserve the consequences. So he said, I can't do it. I don't think people are going to say, well, yeah, we're just going to let it go. I don't think people are per se saying letting it go.
Sure.
It's, can this have been worked out differently? That's what I would have
You
hoped.
read the words. Are they disqualifying? Should he be fired for it?
Well, I've seen these words from coaches before.
Okay.
I will say that.
Yep.
I will say that. This isn't like, and I've seen these from high school coaches.
If you were running the program, would you fire the coach?
Well,
forget the pressure from parents. Forget the pressure from all the other stuff.
You can't forget that.
Well, I do think you have to tell them it's sometimes tough. You don't like it, go play somewhere else. Go find it. I know, I'm a New Yorker. People hate that. What do you want me to tell you? You don't like it? Get out. Go play for another team and stink. Go be 1-9 instead of 9-1.
Look at this guy. You are, on the day that Brian Daboll gets fired, you're talking tough. You are talking tough. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, let's jump into this. Who is the best team in the NFC? Who is the best team in the NFC? And what is the message today for Vikings fans? We'll shoot that around next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back. Get 20% off our clean replacement windows and ensemble entry doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. You pay nothing until 2027. Plus, enjoy a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. Hurry, this Black Friday event is only here till December 13th. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I'm a hammer.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Our system. Connect to the future with Wirefree USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on a Monday, the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here. If you missed parts of the show, a reminder, the Nate Brown Show podcast always available. Search The Nate Brown Show. It's easy to find. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, search The Nate Brown Show, and you don't miss a guest, miss a segment. It's Reaction Monday, second hour with Rob Kegron live in studio. First hour, we had Michael Rand on, Vikings coverage from Michael Rand, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. So let's start with the Vikings then. You know what the reasonable message is, Rob? You ready for a reasonable message? I mean, you're going to go absolute quack here. You're going to go crazy. And so I want to be reasonable, and I'm going to rein you in right away. Vikings lose yesterday, obviously, to the Ravens. J.J. McCarthy, a little up and down. And J.J.'s started 4 games. And we've got some Vikings fans that are really upset. Oh, this is bad. We got to admit when it's bad. Colin Cowherd came on Fox Sports Radio today. The big hot take. Colin, he said, sometimes you just have to admit when you're wrong. You're just wrong about JJ. It's 4 games. People are still trying to tell me that Bo Nix, he's great one week, and then I watched him Thursday night. We couldn't do anything. And so which is it here? We overreact. 4 games, J.J. McCarthy, and you're trying to tell me he's done? Is that what you're going to say tonight?
No, I'm not going to say
you were ready
done,
to.
Nate. I'm saying he never should have been there in the first place. I think they misevaluated. I told you this from the beginning. I thought he stunk as a college quarterback.
So 4 games, you already know that's it.
I didn't need 4 games. I could have told you before he got drafted that this wasn't the answer. But now, the fact of the matter is, where I will be humble about this, is I agree with you to say that 4 games is not enough to evaluate an NFL quarterback. And absolutely, he should not be done, particularly with a quarterback whisperer, quarterback guru, as he has with Kevin O'Connell, right? So I think absolutely we should be giving him the whole season, and if it were me, I would give him the whole next season as well. For sure, 100%. If anybody can get something out of the guy, it would be O'Connell. I think he stinks, and I think he's going to. The guy completed less than 50% of his passes yesterday, Nate. Less than 50.
You can't give him all of next season, too.
Who are you going to put there? Who are you going to put there? Who's his backup next year, Nate? I mean, who's his back? They're going to wait a minute. No, let's be serious. Here's why I said that. It wasn't just throw out a statement because I'm on radio. You're going to draft another quarterback going into the draft?
No.
Okay, so then he has to get the whole next year because otherwise, who are you putting in? Some backup, some scrub who has no business being there.
Veteran backup.
Well, why?
Veteran backup.
Why? At that point, if halfway through next season he's not good enough, throw him out there. Who cares? You're not winning anyway.
So now,
be bad.
Here's where you might be right. Vikings are 4-5. I said the Ravens game was absolute key. But it's not over yet. Sunday, book it. That's a win. That's a win. Sunday against the Bears. That's easy.
What's not over yet?
The season. It's
For
not
the
over
playoffs?
Yet. If they win Sunday, they're 5-5. 3-0 in the NFC North. Are you kidding? 3-0 in the NFC North, 5-5 if they win Sunday. So I'm not going to. It's not over yet. We've already been through this exercise. Remember, he said it was over before the Lions game. We're back. Now it's the Ravens was iffy.
At home. You lost at home.
Yep, and now it's the Bears. Are you ready to take the Bears this week?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't trust the Bears. It's not like I'm a big Bears fan by any means. The guy completed less than 50% of his passes and threw 2 interceptions, Nate.
Yes, he didn't have a good game. He threw some nice throws, really nice throws. So the talent's there. You can see it. O'Connell called a bad game. He called a bad game.
You've been talking to me for weeks and months about how this team is built to win now.
They want to. It's been
they're not.
Rough start. Injuries, terrible injuries.
Is Jefferson hurt?
Been a rough start. By the way, Jefferson was iffy early on. He was iffy early on.
Is he hurt?
We didn't have Addison early on.
You are the biggest apologist I've ever met in my entire life. Folks, if you saw his wry smile right now, come on. He has his talent around him. This is a game for the taking. Baltimore is still, I get it. They still have, Baltimore has plenty of talent.
Don't kill them yet.
But you're at home. At home.
Vikings are 1-3 at home.
After a big win.
1-3 at home. I don't know what's going on.
Big problems.
1-3 at home. They'll win Sunday. You took the Bears just now. That's crazy. That's just lunatic stuff.
Did you take Minnesota against Baltimore last week?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
You stayed away.
I was in Las Vegas.
You stayed away?
I took the Ravens.
Oh, you took the Ravens? Wow, folks.
If I'm being
Can
honest.
you believe this, folks?
If I'm being honest.
He took the Ravens.
I told you it was going to be dicey. I knew the Ravens were going to be dicey. So I took the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears. And it's not like I trust the Bears. I don't trust the Bears.
That's lunatic stuff. By the way, before our last time out, who is the best team in the NFC? Who is it? Do we think it was the team that won yesterday afternoon?
Yes, of course.
The LA Rams.
Absolutely, 100%.
The Rams?
You know my infatuation, my love, my passion for Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, the most underrated combo in the NFL of head coach and quarterback.
Best
underrated, I said. The most underrated combo. I didn't say they're the best
you said
combo.
the best NFC team.
Yeah,
Rams.
absolutely. I think the only caveat to that, if Philly goes into Green Bay tonight, and the game's in Lambeau, correct?
Yep.
Philly goes into Green Bay tonight and wins after beating the Rams. I know they lost to Denver. After beating the Rams, beating the Lions. Didn't they beat the Lions already? Maybe they haven't played yet. Philly's had some impressive wins this year. If Philly goes into Green Bay and beats the Packers tonight, I would probably have to give them a slight edge because they did beat the Rams. But who would be the most dangerous team in my mind going into the NFC playoffs? The Los Angeles Rams, by far.
Of course.
I love McVay.
Last question is my team good or lucky? We wrap up with that.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaikikiWaterPark.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Life changes fast. Starting a business, getting married, buying a house, growing your family. Have you taken steps to protect your family's financial future? Don't let life insurance be the thing that slides. It can help your family during difficult times. Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company can help you get started. He's local and will help you find the right policy to fit your needs and budget. You can Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. That's Lee Cruz New York Life. Protect your family.
In the studio today, I have Weston and Denise Chapman, owners of Black Hills Tire. What kind of diesel services does Black Hills Tire specialize in?
Black Hills Tire is really going to focus on a lot of new diesel services. We're doing factory maintenance and service. We're doing fuel system diagnostics and repair. We're going to do engine repair, even all the way into engine overhauls and engine removals and installation, whether it's driveline components and repair, transmission service, transmission and clutch replacements, brakes. We're doing everything. Check us out at blackhillstire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Overcast tonight with a low of 46. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, 62. Lows dip down to about 36. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times Wednesday with daytime highs approaching 62. 69 Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 58 degrees.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Fun night tonight. Reaction Monday, getting our week started. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. Appreciate our affiliates across the state. Fox Sports Rapid City. We're live. Rob Kagron in studio. Reaction Monday. 2 minutes left. We got 2 minutes. Question of the day. Are my Denver Broncos good or lucky? No respect. They're 8-2, and they're underdogs by 4. The game I'm going to this Sunday at home, they're underdogs. No respect. So they're telling us they're lucky. What do you say?
I think they're good, not great. I think the fact of the matter is they are a top 5 defense, in terms of the points that they've surrendered. I'm very concerned with the quarterback guru of Sean Payton and Nix. I think even you would be something is off with this combo right now. And we can't, there's a little bit of luck to it, right? Because you keep waiting until the fourth quarter to win these games, right? And you keep letting teams stay in the games.
And they didn't even play the whole game against the Raiders. They did nothing.
But I do think they're still a very good team. Their defense is still excellent. They've won the games they're supposed to win, and their schedule's not that tough. Should they be a 4-point underdog at home to the Chiefs? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Well, okay, I like the way you're thinking there, but I do remember you took the Bears 10 minutes ago.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Bears
I'm
Sunday.
taking the Broncos on the money line this weekend to beat the Chiefs because one way or the other I win. I either win money or they lose, and you are going to be miserable next week.
And that's what you're rooting for. I know how you work. By the way,
it's a win-win is what we call it in sports.
You're going for the Bears Sunday. Unbelievable. That's the worst pick of the week. And then you're going to say my Broncos, you think they could win? You think they could win?
I think they should win, to be honest. Not just could. I think they should win.
Okay.
The Bills showed you the recipe to how to beat the Broncos, how to beat the Chiefs and Mahomes, and I think you guys can do that even better than the Bills do.
Good luck with Sean Payton and Bo Nix. They've both struggled. I'm going Sunday. I'm ready for it. We got the family going. Chiefs, Broncos, huge game. What do you got? Rams, Seahawks, huge game. We're going to have a lot to discuss when we come back next week. A Reaction Monday with Rob Kagron tonight. If you miss parts of the show, a reminder, hit the Nate Brown Show podcast. It is up. Just search The Nate Brown Show. Wherever you get your podcast, you'll find this show on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Thanks to Rob Kagron, Nate Brown Show. Out, back tomorrow. See ya.
Village Heart dinner rolls are a